Okay, so as we start our practice this October day, I wanted to share a little bit from Mimi's book. With good metal, we intuitively respect and appreciate high quality work, as well as the skill behind any action. In Qigong, it means that we practice with integrity, without striving for perfection. We orient our movements and intentions towards being even and smooth rather than rough, random, or coarse. I often think of quality movements in Qigong as being like well cut clothing, comfortable, fitting, and elegant. I'd never thought of movements that way before, as comfortable, fitting, and elegant. When we begin to cultivate good metal through Qigong, we can likewise begin to appreciate and respect investing in the preciousness and value of our physical bodies. Like polishing a diamond in the rough, we aim our practices at letting in light and creating more space to reflect our inner radiance. Once we begin to feel this space and light, we may also naturally begin to safeguard this by monitoring our activities throughout the day more closely. We recognize that by making better choices about our exercise, diet, and lifestyle, we begin to value, appreciate, and respect our health and well being more fully. Healthy metal helps us see the body as precious and deserving of good care. Giving attention, care, and respect to our body is not always easy. And then she goes into this discussion of since ancient Greece, people have kind of thought about getting beyond the body, that the mind was more important. And even in ancient India, a lot of us practice yoga, there was this desire to move beyond the body into the brain. She says, Qigong sees the body differently. Rather than see our body as an inconvenient vessel that breaks down and generally causes trouble, Qigong takes the view that our human form is precious. It also has the potential to thrive even in old age. Sifu Matthew Cohen, that's Matthew Cohen often says, train for 10 years older than you are. I love that idea. This means that for her, the writer, at her age of 45, she's training for 55. Means for my age of 57, I'm training for 67. This respects the body as it ages, rather than trying to reverse the inevitable aging process and reject our present life. We honor the body and its natural aging process. Let's take a comfortable seat. And that was from Mimi Deemer's book. As you take a comfortable seat, let your spine sway a little bit. Let your body move, your chi move. Let your spine draw a circle on the sky as if there were a light right at your soft spot on your skull. And let your spine circle the other way. And feel into your body for how it moves. And think of having it smooth and fluid movement. And then pause and tune in to your breath as it enters the body and fills the lungs, and as it exits the body. And remember that in all these practices, this breath brings in life force energy, whether it's chi or prana, and it delivers out stagnant energy, toxins, release of tension. We soften the abdomen so that we can take more breath into the lungs. And we invite the diaphragm to descend into the abdomen and low back, and then to rise up under the lungs as we exhale. And we try not to be perfectionist about the breath. Instead, we offer this precious body the breath, like we're giving ourselves a gentle gift of the inhale and of the exhale. Because in Qigong, emptiness is of equal value to being full. Feel into the beauty of that emptiness. And as we empty of the breath, we can feel for our inner radiance. As we inhale, we can invite in the sunlight, the vibrancy of those around us. And as we exhale, we can release this vibrancy, this light, along with the release of tension and toxins. We can release beauty back out into the world. Breathing into this precious body. Feel for the life force energy moving through you. As you exhale, invite this precious body to soften, to relax, to release, so that it can be more open for the next inhale. So that the body can feel what it's like to be empty. In Qigong, this emptiness is a beautiful space. It's a place of quiet where our thoughts aren't chattering. It's a place of quiet where we can feel our own expansive connection with universal energy. And this breath practice is part of the fine tuning of our practice because we work to make the breath comfortable and easeful, full and fluid. We invite the tissues of our body and the joints of our body to soften so that when we do come into the Qigong exercise practice, we can feel the fluidity of our movements and allow the qi to move through us. Breathe this healthy energy into your organs. Breathe this healthy energy into your bones. Breathe this healthy energy through the blood vessels of your body. And breathe this healthy energy through the lymph system of your body. Breathe this healthy energy into your glands, the thyroid and parathyroid, the thymus, the pituitary, the pineal, the adrenal glands. Breathe healthy energy into them. If you don't know where these glands are in your body or where your organs are, this is this week's homework, to look at a diagram and get to know these parts of your insides so that you can visualize offering these parts of you healing and healthy chi. Let the inner map of this precious body expand. And finally, breathe into the places in your body where you need healing chi. Really feel for the breath and the chi moving to these areas. Now, if these were all physical areas of your body, feel into emotional parts of yourself that may need this healing chi as well. And breathe into these parts of yourself. And finally, breathe this healing chi into areas of yourself that you may like to expand your capacity. So perhaps you want to expand your capacity for forgiveness, or for self-compassion, or for empathy for others, or for loving kindness, or for gratitude, whatever capacities you would like to expand, breathe into them with support and loving chi. Learning to guide the chi is part of learning the precision of Qigong, part of the practice of metal elements. Let's inhale our hands to our hearts. May we be present. May we invite the chi to move through us. And may we recognize our own preciousness. Namaste. Okay, let's come to standing. And let's begin to move like water. And even though we practice precision today throughout our practice, I'd like us to also feel into practicing all of the elements of Qigong. Sorry, I needed to turn my heat up. I realized I turned it on when I got here and it obviously went off. It was set at 50, so that wouldn't have been good for Qigong. Float back and forth. And if it's comfortable, close your eyes for a moment and feel into the inner landscape moving. It might mean you slow down and you make smaller movements. And feel into the movements as well-fitting, comfortable clothes. Let your movement become elegant. And see if your eyes can remain closed or at half mast. And inhale the arms in a circle up overhead and down towards earth. And let the movements perhaps be slower. Feeling into this body. And allowing the movements to be comfortable. Easeful. Elegance. Let your hands descend towards earth and lift the other way. Feel your inhale on the lift of the arms, your exhale on the release. Really feel the body. And let your hands land in Wuji. Even when you stop movement, can you feel into yourself? And then line yourself up, make movements that are necessary to become comfortable in this standing pose. And feel into how you connect with what's beneath you. With what's above you. With what's all around you. And let your arms begin to spin around your torso. Bones hanging, arm bones hanging away from the shoulder girdle. And if it's possible, your eyes are still closed or half-mast. Feet soft on the floor to take chi up from the earth. Soften the crown of your head, that soft spot to take in chi from the sky. And let your hands begin to knock on lung and kidney, getting these meridians flowing. Feel yourself knocking on the door of life. And let the arms release. Fully relaxed hands swinging gently out from the body. Say good morning to whatever tissue is speaking to you. And then see if you can recognize beyond the outspoken tissue, feeling into neutral and pleasant sensations. And then come towards stillness. And let your feet step in. Small V, become that great blue heron or that sandhill crane. And inhale, open left wing and left foot, and exhale to center. And inhale, right side, and exhale. Follow your own breath, feeling into the comfort and ease and elegance of your movements. Pair your movements with your breath, like people pair their food with a good wine. And pause, hands back in front, and inhale, buoy the heart, and exhale, release. As the elbows bend, the knees can bend. And these are Qigong moves we've done so many times. But play a little bit with how much you could close your eyes and feel in to the fluid and easeful elegance of your movements. Offering these movements to your body. Inhaling, we buoy the heart. Exhaling, we lengthen the limbs. And maybe we lengthen up onto the balls of our feet, maybe not. And then we pause and let the wings come wide as we close the beaks of our hands and then open them. And close the beaks of our hands and open them. Try for fluid and easeful arms. If the eyes can close, let them. And feel your body from inside. Invite the movement to draw the chi through the lungs and out into the far reaches of the hands for healthy joints, healthy blood flow. And releasing your wings. Step your left foot forward and let your wings come forward like the pigeon. And then open the heart back. And come forward, front knee bends, and float back, back knee bends. And we rock forward, and we rock back. Pigeon opening its heart. Play with different paces for your breath. And then step the left foot back, the right foot forward, and come forward with your pigeon wings, and then back, forward with your gaze, and then up. Pair your breath with your movements. And then come back into Wu Chi. Release your arms. Flow with the breath. Feel for the chi pulsing in your hands. And let yourself become water, the wave washing down river. Inhaling, the heart lifts and rolls forward. The body water, the bones, driftwood floating down river. Try to find a comfortable, fluid motion. How can this motion become elegant? Can you feel into the interconnectedness of the parts that are moving? And then come back to ease. In stepping your right foot forward, let yourself flow forward. Perhaps the left foot almost lifts off the ground or slightly lifts. And then we exhale, roll back and lift the front leg and let it empty. And then we fill the front leg with our energy, our weight, our intention to hold us, and we empty the back leg. And we play with this idea of filling and emptying. Pause for long enough to really let the legs empty. The lifting leg empties. And it doesn't just empty the leg, it empties the body. It empties the mind. It even empties the heart. When we learn to empty, we learn to let go, to not grasp and cling and hold on. And then we can step the other leg, the left leg forward and rock. Continue the rocking, emptying. and filling and emptying the other side. How do you empty and fill simultaneously? And then come back into Wuji and into the emptiness you've just created. Draw in the healing energy of the birds. Let them settle through you. And then open your wings, looking out over the left shoulder. And exhale the wings forward. And we become owl. Inhaling, we look right. And exhaling. And we release the 5 illnesses and 7 disturbances as we inhale, opening our wingspan. And exhale, come back home. Still feeling for that comfortable and easeful movement in the practice. Letting the movements be like comfortable clothes. And pause, Wuji, and take 1 foot forward and let yourself exhale and inhale into your migration pattern of the autumn. Letting go of one place and moving to the next. Flying over the landscape. Letting go. Welcoming in. That's one of the 5 invitations. Push nothing away, welcome everything in. We'll just add the letting go so that there's room. And let the first foot land and the next foot lift and lower. And maybe the movements are smaller than you usually make. Maybe you can find more elegance in the movement that way. More ease and fluidity. I remember this story of one man practicing Qigong in the park and standing in a position with as much ease as possible. And the master came up and touched his calf and said, "Still tight." So try to find as much ease in every position that you can. And let yourself land, Wuji. Fluid breath. And in metal season, we honor the tiger and we step 1 foot forward in the opposite arm. And then we draw back and step the others. and we become the tiger walking up the mountain. We draw our claws, our fingertips in towards the palms. This helps us activate energy in the hands. And we keep them drawn in that way through this entire exercise so that the fingers get a little different position. Fluid breath. This may draw our conscious attention to the fingers, which may help us draw energy into the fingers and hands, which some of us need to get the chi flowing in the arms and hands. Fluid breath. Let yourself move with the elegance of a cat. And as you move, draw in the strength of the tiger. And then release. Wuji. Relax the hands. And then spreading the fingers, circle the hands, draw in the pinky ring, middle, index, thumb into fists, and inhale, draw earth energy to the heart. And exhale, press out to the sky, opening your paws, and draw in sky down to the heart. And exhale, land your paws on the earth, and you are the white tiger gathering in the chi, letting go with the exhales to gather in again and let go. Feel yourself filling and emptying. Give equal importance to the emptying. And next time you step your paws down onto earth, or release into Wuji. Feel into what's above you, that wide open expanse of sky. What's beneath you, this earth that hugs us. What's all around you. And let your feet open wide, and let your arms lift a giant basket of autumn's harvest. And exhale, standing strong on the right leg, let the right knee bend, and take the basket around to the left. And then gaze, following the horizon, let yourself spin. Right leg straight, back leg bend, spin to the right horizon. Your gaze follows the circle around, as if you're offering this basket to all your friends and family of all the good harvest of autumn. And as you circle, also take in your own gratitudes, what you're grateful for. Let it fill the basket with what you give away. Let your mind rest on the beautiful harvest of autumn and all that you're grateful for and want to share. Part of healing is inviting in the mind states we want to cultivate. And come back to center and release and pause in Wuji. Let yourself rest into the whole circumference of your heels and plant the whole circumference of your big toe ball mat and your pinky toe ball mat. And relax onto these feet. Feel up the legs to the knees, from the knees to the pelvis. Say good morning as you move through the abdomen and low back and sides, feeling along the spine. Feeling into the rib cage, the heart, and the lungs. Shoulder girdle, the arms, and the hands. Up the neck to the head. Feel the whole length of your back body. Feel the lengths of your side bodies. Feel the inner channel from inner arches of your feet up through the pelvic floor, along the spine and out the crown. Invite in Qi to the feet and the crown of the head. And step your left foot out to the left with your arms rising. And exhale the pinkies together. And inhale, draw in the Qi. And exhale, press it through the body. And inhale, float. And exhale, step the feet together. And inhale, step out to the right, arms to the sides. Exhale, pinkies together. Inhale. Draw in the Qi with the palms and exhale it from the back of your lungs. And inhale, lift. And exhale, step the right foot in. And inhale, left foot out. Exhale, pinkies together, palms up. Inhale, draw in the Qi. And exhale, press it through as you bend your knees. And inhale, float. And exhale, release. And inhale, right. And exhale, pinkies. And inhale, draw in the Qi. And exhale, move it through the body. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And come back. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale, gather. And exhale, press. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And release. And continue at your own pace. And pause in Wuji. Breathe into the whole circumference of your torso. Invite that chi to move through you. Feel yourself empty on the exhales. And inhale. Let the arms windshield wiper across the heart, and exhale, fists out, and inhale. Exhale. All through your nostrils. And then pause, rolling the arms over. Look down to earth. And inhale, look up to sky. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And release into Wuji. And let your hands come. Palms facing out, fingers towards the earth. Down. Kind of next to your groins. Kind of inseam there. And imagine, you may step your feet a little wider, that you can release and let go whatever you're ready to pour out of you. Let yourself empty. And then release the arms and let them float, drawing in earth energy, sky energy, drawing in wood, elements, and metal, drawing in the heat of the sun and fire. Let them all move through you and settle. And then bring your arms to wrap around your back. And let the arms rest into your large intestine. And breathe into the back body. Breathe into your intestinal tract. Breathe healing energy into the part of the body that absorbs your nutrients and then helps you let go waste. And release the arms and bring one hand to your throat and let it massage down to your belly and then the next. And let your hands just move down the vagus nerve pathway. Conception vessel in Qigong. Let your hands feel gentle, soothing, compassionate, kind. As if this energy from the hands could move through the body and radiate to every part that needs it. Loving touch. In Qigong, it is thought that we can use our hands to deliver healing qi. Direct that healing qi with your yi, your spleen energy, your intentions, with your thoughts to where you need it most. and release. Relax your collar and feel into this elegant outfit you're wearing. This precious human body. And then we're going to release to the floor. Okay, so come to lying down. Let's have a yoga strap. And let's have your suboccipital release, if you have one. If not, you can use your hands. Let yourself lay down in constructive rest. Palms up. Soles of the feet on the floor. And begin to gently rock your pelvis. Palms are up and thumbs pointed out. Come into somatic walking, where one side of the pelvis lifts as you press down into that same side foot. You're just gently rocking the lumbar spine, rocking the intestines and the organs of the abdomen. Shoulders broad. Fluid breath. Now, even as we move into some yoga stretches, take in this Qigong idea of the preciousness of the body, of moving with ease, fluidity, and elegance. Make the movements comfortable. Don't go beyond the comfort. Don't push hard. Feel for the ease. Now let your pelvis settle in neutral and nod tailbone towards earth and tailbone towards sky. And if you need to lengthen the spine, do so. Fluid breath, fluid motion. Open across shoulder girdle and back. Relaxed arms heavy on the earth. And then come into neutral spine and float one leg in towards the chest and the other. And if it's comfortable, take the knees in the hands and circle the knees and bring them back together again. If it's more comfortable to leave the arms on the floor, then just circle the knees on their own. Circle them wide apart and back together again. And feel into the motion. Don't just be habitual about it. Feel into, oh, does a smaller circle feel better than a larger circle? Or does a larger circle feel like, ah, thank you, I need that stretch? Take your circles the other way. Are your head, neck, and jaw relaxed? Or do you need a pillow? Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Maybe you do a few circles on the inhale and a few circles on the exhale. And then bring the knees together and perhaps you hold them with the hands, perhaps not. And circle the knees and circle around the perimeter of the sacrum. Feeling into your SI joints. How does it feel in the upper spine as you circle the legs in the lower spine? Taking the circles the other way. Can you create comfort and ease? Fluid grace in the movements, even here. And then hug the knees in for a moment and breathe deep into the low back. Exhale completely. Take a few breaths like that. And then release one foot lightly to the floor and the other, and inhale the arms up overhead. And exhale them down by the hips. And inhale, float the arms, stretch the arms. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Following your own breath. Feeling into your own body. Inviting the bones to float. And then bring your arms back down, perhaps pressing your pillow out into robot arms, and lift the pelvis and sway to the right and then the left, lifting one hip, releasing, lifting the other. Strengthening the back body and opening the front line, but not doing any of it too hard. Let yourself move today, even through the yoga stretches, at 70% of effort max. Concentrate more on emptying the breath and filling with the breath deep into the abdomen, into the low back. Now come to center with the pelvis and gently pulse the pelvis skyward. Sometimes it's the strengthening of the muscles that will allow a little more release. And then exhale the pelvis to the floor and reach for your yoga strap. Bring it underneath the low back and bring it all the way down underneath your sacrum and hips. And then hold it pretty tight and close to the pelvis and bend your arms so that you've created a hammock between your hands with your pelvis resting in the hammock. So you've kind of got your robot arms, but your hands are holding the strap, holding the pelvis. And again, just gently rock the pelvis side to side. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Hopefully, your forearm bones line up over the elbow and kind of the bone itself helps you hold the strap underneath the pelvis. If this doesn't work for you, you don't have to work with the strap. But for some of us, it'll allow for a release of the pelvis and the abdomen, even a release of the muscles of the hips and the low back. Fluid breath as you rock the pelvis. You can stay with the rocking or just become still. Releasing the abdomen, the muscles of the pelvis. Releasing the navel. And releasing the pelvis back to earth. Somatic walking. Fluid breath. Take your feet as wide as the mat and take your knees to the left. Open your arms into a T or bring your arms overhead. Either way, you can gently turn your gaze to look out over the back arm and stretch the right knee away from the right side of the navel. Take fluid, deep inhales and complete exhales. Maybe you gently rock the pelvis. On the inhale, you stretch the knee away from the fingertips. And on the exhale, you relax into the hug of gravity, into your comfortable clothes. Take a little time here to explore what it means to release into a position. Are there any parts that don't initially release that you can find and invite to let go? And exhale back through center, taking the knees to the other side. And stretch and breathe. But remember, we're not stretching to 100 or 110%. We're keeping everything a little more easeful today. Concentrating on the empty of the exhale, the empty of the tension from the body. Can you empty the tension from around your face and eyes? Your neck and shoulders. And then from the inner line of the stretch. And we exhale back to center. And bring the yoga strap up over the left ball of the foot. And we begin to pendulum the leg towards the floor and back up. Now, for some of you, learning to release the head of the femur bone so that it moves separately in the hip, this may be enough work. Releasing the head of the femur towards the foot of the mat as the foot comes higher. And you may want to stay with the pendulum. Others may want to come up from the pendulum and draw a circle with the foot. Circle could be the size of a clock face or Gertie ball. Just a gentle circle. You may feel as the foot circles, oh yeah, I'm circling around the perimeter of my sacrum again. We're keeping the right knee bent, right foot on the floor at this point. And then you may take the circles the other way. Just gentle. Not hard. We're not pushing the body. Letting the femur release earthward, mainly with the hug of gravity. Some of you may want to stay with that, and some of you may want to lengthen the right leg on the floor. Take the strap around in the left hand and open the left leg out as you open the right arm like a wing. And breathe into the star shape, breathing the breath through each limb. Back in towards the heart center and the lower dantian. Radiating out from the pelvis, through the crown, through the lengthened legs and arms. And then exhale back to center and take the left leg across to the right, strap into the right hand, left hand to the hip crease, pressing the left femur down the mat. Keeping the pelvis on the floor. You may rock the left leg a little bit, opening the left hip and IT band. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. And then bringing the left foot back to center, we bend the left knee in towards the armpit, half happy baby. Fluid, three-dimensional breath into the abdomen. Notice how you're cutting off the lymph and blood flow at the hip crease of the left leg. And then when you let go, it will wash through with more strength. Let the left leg lengthen out on the floor. Place your left hand on your hip and your right hand on your right hip. Feel the difference of your body left to right. Fluid breath. Let's step both feet back into constructive rest and bring the strap up over the right foot, big toe and pinky toe ball mounts, and let the leg pendulum. Some of you, the pendulum may stay low towards the floor so that you can keep your neutral curve. And over time, you'll begin to drop the head of the femur bone towards the floor and towards the foot of the mat as the right foot comes higher towards the sky. Really think of creating that space in the pelvis. It's like making sure that clothes are loose enough so that you can move inside them. We want the bones to float. Some of you will be able to make the pendulum larger because you're just naturally more flexible. But make sure you don't put undue pull on the hamstring connection to the sit bone. Find that easeful place where the stretch feels good in your body. Remember, you're moving lymph, you're moving chi. You don't have to get the maximum stretch here. Sometimes not going to max is healthier. Some of you may want to stay with that pendulum. Others may want to draw the foot up towards the sky and draw a small circle, the size of a clock face or a Gertie ball, maybe a beach ball. And just feel for that kind of easeful motion of the femur bone and the hip socket, the movement around your SI joints, kind of letting the body settle, healthy for the nervous system, the endocrine system. And then take your circles the other way if you like. Think of all the blood and lymph you're releasing from this leg. Fluid breath. And you could stay with these circles or the pendulums or take the strap in your right hand and lengthen the left leg out. Release the left wing of the arm open and release the right leg to whatever stretch feels right for you. Imagine you're a star pulsing in the sky, and from the center pelvis, pulse out through the crown and each limb, and integrate back into center, and then pulse out again, and integrate back in, and let your body pulse, a living being, without over-efforting. A gathering and a releasing of energy. And then exhale up to center, taking the strap in the left hand, right hand to your hip crease and femur. Take the right foot across just as far as you can with the pelvis still on the floor, and perhaps pendulum the right leg. Again, the right femur presses down towards the foot of your mat. Your hand can help with that. And the right foot lifts towards the head, and you may get a nice stretch in the deep hip muscles or the IT band or the outer hamstring or the calf. You can flex and point the foot as well. Remembering we're not going to 100%. We're finding that easeful work, so we might let the leg out a little. And then we'll come back to center and bend the right knee in towards the armpit. Half happy baby. Fluid breath. The extended left leg allowing for free blood and lymph flow through the groins. The bent leg compressing at the groins for a moment. And then we exhale and release the right foot to the floor and lengthen the right leg out. Put our hands on our hip pointers and feel. Have we moved towards a balanced groundedness? And let your arms rise overhead in a V and your feet open as wide as the mat, and just lightly float the right foot off the floor, the right leg off the floor, and stretch out of the pelvis and release the right leg long. And then lift the left leg just slightly and stretch out of the pelvis and release the left leg long. And lift the left arm, stretch and relax, and let the bones come heavy towards earth. And lift the right arm and stretch and release. And let yourself rest here in the hug of gravity, letting go, letting go, letting go. And then bring your hands back in and walk your feet back into constructive rest and bring the suboccipital release right below the skull, right at the top of the lowest skull bones. And let yourself rock gently back and forth or rub gently back and forth, like you're nodding no to just massage across the base of the skull. And you may bring the release up to about midway up the skull and then back down towards the base of the skull. And wherever you feel tension or tightness, invite a letting go. Be willing to pause and rest in that spot. Breathe into it and exhale the tension out. And then you can find one side of the skull perhaps and move out a little more towards the ear, resting on one side of the release and just massage down towards the base of the skull, finding any tender points where you want to rest and just invite a release. See if you can relax your face and your eyes and invite the release. And then that side may have had enough for a little while, so you rock to the other side. And you can be moving up and down the skull. I'm about 2 inches above the base of my skull right now, a little out towards my ear. I found a tender spot. So you search for your own tender spots, the places where your body needs a gentle massage across the skull, remembering that this fascial sheath moves down into your shoulders and back. We want to release any gripping tension there. This will help you release to have a more fluid spine. Now you can stay with the suboccipital release, or you can bring your release down to the hips and you can rest it. So I'm resting it long, same direction as the side of my sacrum, which remember is like an arrowhead towards your tailbone. And I'm just rolling back and forth over it. So now I'm using tennis balls. I'm not using one of the red releases. The red release would be a little higher and you'd have to actually rock your hip over and back across it. And you can bring it out more towards the outer hip and up towards the pelvic rim. You may move out more towards your greater trochanter, out towards the hip bone that protrudes most out of your hip. And you may find some places in there where you want to rest or rock and invite a letting go. Remember, we're keeping a fluid inhale and a fluid exhale, exhaling the tension, inhaling, healing chi, healing prana. And if you're at the hips and you've had enough time on one side, you can switch back and forth at your own pace. If you open the tissue at the skull, you'll be releasing the shoulder corners. And as we rock on the hips, we're releasing the hip corners of the rectangle that surrounds the spine. That will help us have more fluidity in the spine itself. And you can completely play here. I decided to lengthen my right leg because I felt like I could get to a tight point better in my hip that way. And I'm kind of rocking in a twist over that tight spot. So feel free to experiment as you discover the tight spots in your body. You can stay with the hips, or if you'd like to take one more release, you can bring the suboccipital release to right above your sacrum along the lumbar spine, and just see if those points feel good pressing in towards your transverse processes of your spine. Don't press too hard. You have some control. You can stay in a little bit of a bridge. But you can see if you can get a little deeper in towards your spine, and if there are some places where you may want to release a little of the fascial tissue. We're not pressing directly on the vertebrae. It sits between the two points. You can move up your spine. You can cat curl or cow curl to just kind of find some pressure points and perhaps find some release. You may even feel good coming right onto your sacrum. Fluid breath. And then lift up off and relax your pelvis down. Let your arms rest for a moment out to the side and come back to somatic walking. And notice if there's any more fluidity and elegance in the movement. Fluid breath. And then when you're ready, come into a position that feels good to you for Shavasana today. So you could wrap your legs over a bolster, or you could bring in your chair, which is what I'm doing, and bring a block under your sacrum. Make sure you bring any pillows in that you need, any blankets to stay warm. And let yourself rest into the hug of gravity. And come back for a few moments into gently fine-tuning your awareness of the breath. An inhale that doesn't cause strain but fills you three-dimensionally. An exhale that is a letting go. Follow the exhale out without strain. Feel for the pause and the emptiness, and then invite the inhale to fill you. Perhaps you fill to 80%. And then let go to feel the emptiness again. Pair the breath work with what you would like to empty yourself of. Perhaps you have too much anxiety or self-doubt or anger, frustration, or fear. Whatever you'd like to let go, let go. Concentrate on the letting go and the freedom that emptiness can bring. Now gently deepen the breath and draw in this healing chi and this prana. Invite the life force energy to move through you. Invite it into the areas where you need it most. And then as you're ready, begin to stretch and move and perhaps shake. Stretch and move and shake. Bring that life force to a more active level. Shaking, 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 shaking. It's good because it shakes that lymph down, that blood down out of our limbs too. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. And then let go. And come up off your props into a comfortable seat. Feel into your breath for a moment. And your other homework, besides looking to see where your organs and glands are, is to tune into the breath, to let it help you let go and to bring in healing chi to wherever you want to draw it in the body. Let's inhale our hands to our hearts. May we remember that our bodies are precious and offer them good care, good nutrition, good exercise, good breath, and good food. Namaste. Thanks for your practice.